Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing the APL Concept X. So this shoe is going for a whopping 400 bucks. This might be one of the most expensive shoes I've ever played in. You know what I'm saying? I guess besides the Nike Adapts, if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. But let's get it started off with the Tracciones. So in this colorway, or basically every single colorway that's available right now, there are 4 I believe. They're using a translucent outsole. Keep in mind, I did play on an outdoor court mainly, but the gym is open. The basketball court at the gym that I go to is open kind of, or it's closed. We're not allowed to ball there, but it's open. So they put like bikes there, so people can bike on the basketball court, which is weird. Of course, because of the quarantine, I guess basketball is a very contact heavy sport, so I guess it is smart to keep it closed. But I've been going there and shooting around a little bit and doing some drills, dribbling and testing out the shoes just a little bit. Keep in mind, of course, this is not a full performance test on an indoor court. I just wanted to give you guys an overview of it. And also keep in mind that the floor is absolutely filthy in there, right? So super dusty and all that. I did, clean the area where I was playing though, like wipe it down with like paper towel and a little bit of water. So it definitely was a little bit better in the area I was playing, So anyways, on an outdoor court, it has a pretty damn good bite. It wasn't the best, that I've been playing in, but it was a fairly good bite. I'd say out of 5, I'd give it a 4, On an indoor court, it was definitely good too. When I wiped the bottom of the outsole and I wiped where I was playing, it had a very good stop, a very solid bite, but it did pick up dust. Like I said, it was dirty where I was playing, so it did pick up dust, and it picked it up fairly quickly, and once I wiped, I had a few good stops again, but I had to wipe very, very quickly after that again. So take this with a grain of salt, but on a clean court, you should be good to go. On a dusty setting, you should be good to go as well if you wipe very, very frequently. As far as the durability goes, it seems okay. I'm pretty much like a good amount worn down here where the ball of my foot is. That's a high wear area. I don't know why, but it wears down a lot more quickly for me on my right pair here. My left pair is looking okay. The rubber is actually very hard, but the grooves are shallow. So yeah, the durability is okay, I would say. For the rate that it was wearing down, I feel like durability is good, but like I said, the grooves are not that deep, so just watch out for that. And I don't think you should be playing outdoors in $400 shoes, but that's just my opinion. All right, moving on to the heel to toe transition. Is pretty smooth in the shoe. So here in the midsole, we have a full length carbon fiber plate, which is very, very stiff. Like if you look, can't really bend it. It's very, very hard. It feels like the LeBron 10s. If you've ever played in LeBron 10s, it's super stiff. But anyways, here in the heel, you got a nice curved shape and you have a good amount of compression, which feels great. You have a nice curved shape here in the forefoot. Like I said, not a lot of forefoot flex, but that's okay. It bends a little bit easier under the weight of your body, but still, it's pretty damn stiff. You got to spring back a little bit. When you're doing heel dominant strides down the court, this kind of like propels you forward because of that carbon fiber plate. I don't know what it is. I might be, a little too light to actually feel it. If you're heavier, obviously, right now I'm 155. I actually gained 15 pounds during the quarantine. So I'm trying to gain a little bit more weight, probably go to like 165. But still, it wasn't something where it was like, I can definitely feel the forefoot flex. In my personal opinion, I don't like shoes that don't have a lot of forefoot flex. Like I said, I do like the spring back and everything, but I would prefer a shoe that has a lot more forefoot flex, but that's just my opinion. As far as the cushioning system goes, right? So they're using a full-length Future Foam midsole, which feels very nice. There's a lot of compression. It feels a little bouncy. I'd say it's more on the softer side of things, so impact protection, especially on heel strikes, is good. Like I said, you have that full length carbon fiber plate, and you have 10 springs here in the forefoot. So like the spring coil system here in the forefoot is called the load and launch pad, and it's supposed to help propel you forward, or I guess propel you when you jump, for your vertical. And that's what APL is known for. APL is pretty famous for being banned by the NBA. NBA players cannot wear this shoe because it gives an unfair advantage to NBA players, mainly, up to a 3.5-inch vert increase just by wearing the shoe, right? So did I get that increase? Not per se, you know. Okay, so my vert is pretty bad. I have a vert of like 25 inches, I believe. I had it measured at like one of the events. I believe it was a Jordan event. So yeah, I ain't got no bounce, I know. So I can barely touch the rim, right? And when I put this shoe on, I could touch it a little bit more. And I'd say it was inconsistent though. On some days I could touch it, and on some days I couldn't. You know, I would say that's more me though. But I was trying it with other shoes as well. You know, I was playing with the Kyrie Flytraps. I was playing with the LeBron 18s as well as a comparison. And it didn't really seem that much different. You know, I really didn't feel like there was a crazy increase in my vert. I would say just a little bit, maybe like an inch or two. But it wasn't crazy noticeable, you know? So I feel like for me, it didn't really work all too well as far as the vert increase goes, but the cushioning setup is still nice. And I can't really feel this springboard here in the forefoot all too much underneath my foot like I can here in the Super Futures. I don't know if you guys can see, but that's their other shoe. That shoe doesn't have a carbon fiber plate. You know, the carbon fiber plate here in the Concept X is literally right on top of this load and launch pad. So you can't feel the spring, you know, that spring pad underneath your foot, which kind of sucks, but I guess that's what they had to do. Court feel is okay. You know, I'd say it's better than the LeBrons, but not as good as like, I'd say it's a little bit higher than the PG4s actually. Like I said, you get that spring in your step, especially like going out of the triple threat. So tell us, I mean, for me, from my experience, I didn't feel all too much of a difference in my like, my vertical. Like I said, I did feel fast and springy because of the carbon fiber plate. I don't really think the load and launch technology did all too much, but it might have to do with my size and my weight. You know, I feel like if you're heavier, it'll help you a little bit more. If you've tried the APL system, tell us down in the comment section below if it's worked for you. All right, moving on to the materials. These materials are so damn nice. You know, usually in all of my reviews, materials isn't like a big thing for me. I don't really care what material it is usually. Like, you know, as long as it's a thin material, it's supportive, it conforms to your foot, you know, pretty well, and it's comfortable, then I don't really care about the quality and all that, you know. But if a shoe does a material right, like in this shoe, like a full-on knit, but it's supportive, then it just feels next level, very, very nice. So here in this upper, basically the entire upper, they're using what they call tech loom, but it's basically just a knit material. And it's super nice. It feels very minimal on foot. I absolutely love this stretchy knit here in the ankle collar area. Also, you have a little bit of stretchy knit here where the tongue is. And then of course, here in the forefoot, it's not stretchy for support. It just feels awesome. You know, it's, like I said, it's supportive. It's very, very, very comfortable. And it's also very easy to put on. You just stretch this out, slide your foot in like a slipper, tie the laces, and you're good to go. So the materials are A1. I mean, they better be for 400 bucks, you know what I'm saying? All right, moving on to the fit. True to size should be good for most people, but for me, I went down half a size because I really like snug fits for knit uppers, right? So this knit upper is super supportive. Like if you put force on it, it doesn't stretch all too much, but once you break it in and over time, it does stretch out a little bit because it is a knit. Most knits do that, you know? So it is a little bit roomier than when I first got it, but it's still snug. So that's why I went down half a size. But if you don't like a super snug fit like that, then true to size should be good to go for you guys. And then width wise, I would say it's around normal to slightly narrow. And then here in the midfoot, I absolutely love how this like material kind of stretches over the top of your foot. And then you have the laces to tighten everything up. So the fit was very, very good for me. As far as the support and lockdown goes, it was very good. You know, lateral containment was very, very good. You have an internal TPU heel counter. You have the foam coming up a lot, you know, acting as a sidewall here in the heel. And then here in the forefoot, they don't really have all too much as far as like the rubber or the cushioning coming up. But this material, you guys see all of this material here? They added all of this, especially, I guess, here in the forefoot, which also adds to the durability. Also, you have a material here where basically like the beginning of your pinky toe is. So this part is pretty damn supportive. It's rigid and all that, but still comfortable. So yeah, I mean, for lateral containments, I was good. Lateral stability, I was very, very stable. You know, it's a very wide base. Look at that. The rubber outsole protrudes out a lot here in the forefoot, as you guys can see. It's a very flat base as well. So I was laterally stable. As far as the ankle support goes, I mean, really none, you know. It's a, look at this, it's a very like flimsy, I wouldn't say flimsy, but it's a material that's very easy to move, you know, so it doesn't really support your ankle all too much, which is fine with me. It's not a huge deal, you know. So I mean, support and lockdown, no issues at all, I guess, besides the ankle support. All right, moving on to the weight. I believe this was a little heavy. Yeah, 14.3 ounces for the right. The left pair, I believe, okay, 14.36 ounces. Yeah, it's pretty damn heavy. None of that weight is coming from the upper. All of the weight is probably coming from like the, I don't know, carbon fiber is very light, so it's probably not the carbon fiber, but like the coil springs and the plastic and all that here inside the midsole is probably what all the weight is coming from. It definitely feels bottom heavy. Like the overall shoe is super minimal and very light on top of your foot, but then like, you know, Vans or Converse, this shoe feels pretty similar to that in the overall weight category and like the weight distribution of the shoe. It's bottom heavy, and it wasn't a huge deal, you know. Like I said, I do like the minimal upper, and when I was playing it, I didn't feel like it was that heavy, you know, like it didn't feel super bulky. And the carbon fiber plate definitely made it so that I had that little spring in my step and I felt a little bit faster. So I mean, I didn't really notice the weight all too much in this shoe. It doesn't feel as light as like Curry's or whatever, but for me personally, weight wasn't an issue. All right, for ventilation is incredibly good. You know, you have a lot of ventilation holes here in the forefoot as well as here in the midfoot. It's not a super thick upper either. There's not a whole lot of padding throughout this upper. So, I mean, ventilation was good. Airflow is good. It's a knit, so it wicks away moisture and all that. I mean, my feet were actually cold. Like at night these days, outdoors, it's like 40, 50 degrees, which is super cold for someone that lives in California. I know a lot of you guys that live in like Alaska or Antarctica are saying that's nothing, but you know, it's cold for me. As far as the aesthetics go, I like it. This colorway is, I mean, I thought this colorway was really cool until I got it in hand, and it's super sparkly and bedazzled. So don't like it as much anymore, but the overall silhouette is great. I love the patterns of knit that they did here, like in the midfoot and here in the forefoot. Just like the knit patterns that they like had to engineer and stuff is really cool. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, 400 bucks, is it worth it? I don't really think any shoe is worth 400 bucks. Even the Adapt shoe, which was like, what is it, like 350 or something, with the auto lacing feature and all that, I still don't think that's worth it. So if that's not worth it with the auto lacing feature, I don't think it's worth it with this. But I mean, if you're balling and you got that money to spend, then go ahead. This is a good performer. I really enjoyed playing in it. I love the upper material. The cushion was good. I wish it was a little bit lower to the ground, but that's okay. Traction was solid. It's just an overall very comfortable and fun shoe to play in. So don't buy this shoe on the fact that, you know, will I get an increase in vert? It might be different for like other people, especially in weight. You know, if you're a little bit heavier, I feel like it'll work better for you. But for me, like I said, it didn't work too well. So anyways, yeah, I did enjoy playing it. It's up to you guys to see if you want to spend that money on this shoe. But anyways, that's my review. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.